Hi. So, welcome. Okay, and if you're taking this course in like June or July or August, I'm sorry for the Christmas sweater, but I'm recording this in January here in Vermont, where I have 4 feet of snow outside. So let me get to it because there's a lot to go over. But this is all mechanical stuff. So this is for the capstone. Okay, and I'm going to tell you right up front. The rest of the stuff is kind of mechanical and it could apply to any class I teach. But this stuff is specific to the capstone. I think it's week 1 or week 2. It's really early on in the course. And one of the things that'll come up is you need to bond people. You need to coalesce a coalition. I'm not sure how else to say that. But here's the thing. We're talking about C-suite people, okay? We're talking about people with big egos, people who are not used to getting their hands dirty, people who, sign off on stuff, they read reports, and that sort of thing. Now all of a sudden we're going to be asking them to do some heavy lifting. And that's not really going to go over very well. But the company depends on it. It really does. Well, guess what? Mergers and acquisitions has been around for a long, long time. And you know what? So has executive retreats for a really good reason. Because executive retreats get the job done. So I'm going to insist on seeing executive retreats mentioned in your papers. I'm even going to make it easy for you. I'm going to post elsewhere in the announcements, excuse me, early on, I think it's week 1 announcements, a list of executive retreats. Okay? You can come up with one of your own, or you can use one of mine. It doesn't matter. I'm going to want to know why you chose what you chose, and I'm going to want to see the name of the company, and I'm going to want to see it referenced. Don't just, blow sunshine my way. And I'm going to insist on an executive retreat. That's not good enough. I just said that. I'm expecting you to do some research. In fact, I'm expecting you to do research for every assignment, to be honest with you. It's a graduate class. All right? It's not even, in fact, it's not even just a master's degree class. It's the capstone. Come on. Come on. So, I'm going to insist on executive retreats. Around week 3, you're going to need to take a look at another company. Again, mergers and acquisitions, right? I'm going to make another insistence here. And that insistence is that you choose another company about the same size as our company. And I don't want to hear how, the courts didn't give all these in a list. You are expected to do the research. Okay? Why? Because if another company that's about half our employees to 2 or 3, maybe even 4 times the size of our company, you get past a ratio of 5 to 1, it starts to get a little burdensome. We're no longer really looking at an even playing field. Okay? So a company that's 18 times the number of employees is, just to make the point, too big. Okay? Every class I teach this, and I've taught this course a handful of times, I still get people saying Johnson & Johnson. Hello? Hello? Johnson & Johnson has 140,000 people. We're just a whisper over 1,000. They would gobble us up and spit us out. In fact, if they did deign to buy us, they'd only be buying us for our intellectual property, and then they would get rid of everything else. Because they already have it. They don't need anything that we have, except whatever it is they're after. Just the one thing, probably. So this can't be, we're a little fish in a big pond. That's not the dynamic. The dynamic is, we are viable, and so is the company that we're looking to merge with, and together we create a synergy that gives us an exponentially larger third expression. Not just larger because the two of us are joining together, but that together we can create even more wonderful stuff than we could have on our own, or they could have on their own. Anyway, moving on. Okay, I have a lot to cover. There's not an assignment in this course where there are appendices. No appendix. None. No table of contents. None. I don't need to see an abstract for any paper. None of the papers are big enough. No, nobody's asking you to write a 60-page paper. Okay? I don't even need an intro. I had, at one point in this course, there's a 2-page memo. I've actually had somebody give me an intro and an appendix to a 2-page. You got to be kidding me. It's 2 pages. Just give me the 2 pages. And, of course, always a cover page, always a reference page. You know, at the very end of this course, you're going to self-assess. At the very beginning of this course, there's going to be a SWOT analysis that you're going to do on yourself. It may be intuitive that you say, well, I don't need references for that. I'm sorry, you do. You need references for every assignment in this course, period. There is a couple exceptions. Sorry. You're not going to do any references for bongos if you're doing a video like you're supposed to. If you're doing a Word document, yes. There's no references for quizzes. And that's it. As far as I'm aware. Okay. In the very first module, there's a discussion. Not only are you going to use references at the bottom of your discussion, you're going to use references in your replies to your colleagues. I want to see you do the research. It's a graduate course. I am going to be insistent on your last name first and your first name last and what the assignment number is. Just to be clear. You got to reformat the title of whatever it is anyway. It's a good idea to do this for yourself. Okay, I'm going to save all the students' assignments in one folder per module. Okay. Why am I asking for this? Because I need to stay organized. I've got 30 students. Sometimes I've got 2 or even 3 assignments per module. That's 60 or 90 assignments sometimes that I have to grade in a week. That's a lot. And for me to keep track of them all, it makes sense if the computer takes this information and automatically puts it in alphabetical order. And that's what will happen if you do the magic that I'm asking you to do. Quite nicely, I beg you, please and thank you. Last name first, first name last, and then what is the assignment number? 1-2, 1-3, whatever it happens to be. Oh, certificates. You don't need references for certificates either. Sorry. So videos that are video, certificates, and quizzes. That's it. I'm going to write that down. Videos, certificates, and quizzes. Other than that, I want to see references. All right, now, I told you why. Couple other things real quick. By the way, in case you don't know what that looks like, Jane Doe 1.2. I'm curious what city or town you're in. I really would like to know. I just genuinely am curious. So please, if you don't mind, I'm not going to hunt you down. I swear to God, I'm really not. I just, it's meaningful to me. It helps me get to know people. Okay. Hopefully you know by now that you're supposed to indent your paragraphs. Okay. It comes in a little bit, and then it starts in a little bit, and then your sentences run, go on from there. That's an indentation. Some people don't even do that, but you need to. What a hanging indent is, this is in your reference section. Your references should have hanging indents, where everything is indented except for the first line. The first line is not indented, and everything else is. That's a hanging indent. Please do that in your references. You're supposed to. That is what APA formatting is. APA formatting is also 12-point only, double-spaced only, black text only, Arial or Times New Roman only, not Aptos, not Calibri, not 17-point, not blue. Sorry, APA. That's it. I already told you how to format graphics. Just to make sure, I'm going to do it again real fast. Okay. It's the upper left, whichever corner you're using as left. Okay. For me, that's my left. But you're looking at this on your computer monitor. I don't want to get people confused. You're looking at what's on the right side of your screen. Okay. In the upper left, however it works for you to remember that, in the upper left, you use the word figure, or the abbreviation FIG, period, the number of the graphic, whether it's a spreadsheet or a graph or an image, whatever it is. Okay? And then if you want to put in the caption or the title, whatever it is, then it follows after that. So, figure 6, plenty of statistics. Okay? Figure 7, whatever, etc. Okay? That is a lot. I understand. And all of this information is going to be elsewhere in the course. But every time I teach this course, people don't seem to pay attention to this or that. And it's not like you don't pay it. It's not like I'm saying, oh, they don't pay attention. No. I get it. Life goes on. People have a lot of stuff on their plate. I'd be willing to bet most of you are working and in a family setting and taking this class. And some of you are really... Anyway, that's enough out of me. Multiple classes. Okay, I'm done. I'll see you in the classroom.